You're broke and you need a new opportunity so you can afford my courses again during this binflation or this recession. I'm not in debt, and many of my students got out of debt, more than 20K of it with my advice. So listen up. You'll learn 3 challenges that you face during this binflation. I'm speaking with one of my students who was in a little bit of debt. Recently, I had a lot of students. One had 40K, one had 20K, 17K. I cleared off the other guy's debts. So number one, the first step, right, is that to split your money into 5 buckets. The first one, as we were talking about, right? What was the first one? It's 20%, 20%, 20%, 20%.
Emergency funds.
So 20% emergency funds in case your car breaks down or some fucked up shit happens. What's the next one? Well, one's bills for sure, right? One's bills for sure, right? You have to pay the bills. Okay. What's the next one?
Like investments?
Yes. But obviously, like, we were talking how a lot of people invest in stupid shit, right? You invest in some kind of options. But other people invest in drop shipping, right? A lot of my students, Indians, and a lot of people invest in, like, stupid education or 401k. It's always trapped in something, stocks. Does that make sense? All the students were like that. The zombies have to have their money tied up in something stupid. They can't help it. So I got my other Indian student out of debt. Yeah, like 17K. And now he's making a lot more money for a job. Married, everything. His wife thanked me. So another person is a fucking zombie. He's just texting me right now on Skype. I think he's gonna be like 200K in debt by the time he finishes university. A lot of stupid fucking investment. I tell him, like, once he finishes college, to get the fuck out of there.
200K?
When he finishes university, he's in college now. He's not gonna be in that much debt. I'll probably tell him to get the fuck out of there afterwards. And also, like, remember the guy who fucked me over for 2.2 million? I taught him how to do that in sales, and he lost all his money on ads. That guy, right? So the zombies are always like, he wasn't in debt, but he lost everything. Good revenge. But the point is this, right? By splitting up in 5 pieces, right? Emergency bucket, number 1. So number 1, emergency bucket. Number 2, bills. Number 3, investment and education bucket, right? Investing in yourself, just like you are with my course, substantial amount. But let's say you're already in this fact, you got many, many lays. So number 4, it is the play bucket, right? If you earn more, then you should spend, but only 20% or 10%, whatever you want. Have a stop loss. Is it starting to make sense that you divide your money up?
Yeah.
So divide your money up. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think those are the 5 categories. I forgot what the 5th one was. I think one's investing in education, and one of them is investing in investments. Yeah. So sometimes I invest in books and stuff like that because I know they're cheap on Kindle, right? Every book I buy becomes my earning potential. Does that make sense? It's like most of you, the reason why you're losing money is because you got to think there's like a triangle, okay? Number 1 is your high income skills. You work, let's just say, without giving too much information, but I have a lot of students that work in the tech field. Let's just say that. That's all I'm going to say. Make a little bit more, right? But the more money you make, the more money you guys lose. And the reason you do that is because it's almost like, Mike Tyson, when more money he earned, the more he spent.
Yeah.
It's not your fault, because there's a book called something, The Millionaire Mind, by something E. Ecker, whatever he's called. He talks about how your family influences you the way you think. So for my black student, future one, his family makes a lot of money, but they spend a lot. He doesn't know where the money goes. So it happens to him. Do you have a parent that basically whatever they earn, they lose?
I had a relative that was like a gambler.
But all of your 2 parents, right? One of them is very cheap, right? Or both of them are cheap.
Both of them are cheap.
Stop the bleeding.
Here's the second challenge you face. You need to learn how to stop the bleeding so your boat stops leaking money, draining you money that makes you more broke than a joke like other RSD victims.
You want to stick around for the last challenge, which is the most important. Saving the best for last. Titanic crash. So if you're trading options and stuff, or whatever the fuck other people are doing, drop shipping, right? Stop the bleeding, right? Number 2.
Here's the last challenge that you face, knowing that you need to focus on for the wealth triangle. Most of you are focused on the wrong things. Even if you got a job, you need to improve your high income skills and abilities, even from books, courses, and mentors. How to scale your side hustle that goes with your normal job that can bring you more income, and how to invest in assets to make more money. So pay attention.
So sometimes the only way you can really like make more money is, you're saving to invest. I know there's inflation and everything, but does that kind of make sense? The more you compound your savings, the more you're investing in your self-education, right? High income skills, month after month, right? Don't you think that's a better than to invest in options for the other bucket, such a big bucket? Like put all your money into that, eggs into that one basket?
Yeah, if it's not working, might as well put it into something that's more useful.
Exactly, like my course, my training. Got many, many lays. We're not going to say who you are, okay? We're not going to identify you. But this is pretty common problem with the students. And also the last thing I want to teach you is that this triangle, right, is pretty accurate. I didn't invent this, okay? There was another guy in Vancouver I met a long time ago. I think around 2016, 2015, whatever. He was wearing a red suit. He's teaching in a conference. I won't say his name. But he made $25 million this year or last year, USD.
Doing what?
He teaches like marketing and stuff like that. 25 million because he won a ClickFunnels award. If you make 25 million, you get the award. He's one of the winners. So he came up with this great idea. I agree with it. I totally agree with it because I did meet him before he's famous on YouTube. A lot of people, right? They don't trust gurus and stuff like that. Whatever. But he had the right idea. Number one, he says increase your income, right? Now, I always believe that if you cannot increase for certain skills, right? You can always hire somebody else with the same skills, right? Let's say you're not good at sales. You can always hire somebody else to close for you. They get a percentage, get it? You get 10% every close, 10, 15. So they work on commission. The more they close, the more they copywriting, right? Let's say you don't know how to do it. You can offload it somewhere else. Public speaking, right? Are you starting to see where I'm going with this? If you learn some of these skills, right? Where self-education comes in, right? You can increase your earning potential because your job is fixed, right? You train time for money. Am I right?
Yeah.
But if you can find a way to increase the income earning, right? Does that make sense? The first skill is high income. How to increase it? You learn how to save so you can educate yourself so you can increase the earning potential. Does that now make sense?
Yeah.
I'm not a financial guru, but I've never experienced debt, ever. I'm very good at being cheap. I'm Chinese too, but I always invest in myself. Every dollar I earn, just like from your education, all goes into my self-education. You know that? Literally buying like 10 books in at once. That is my options. I read them all. I can speed read. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Isn't that smart? Because if I learn 10 books on a certain topic, like how to close better in sales or how to write better copywriting or something like that, right? It's going to increase my business. Am I right? One of the 10 books is going to work, even if 9 were shit. There might be that one advice that earns me an extra, couple $100 per book for every gold nugget. There might be altogether in 10 bucks, right? Maybe 5 or 6 gold nuggets, right? That adds an extra couple hundred to each of my earning. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's how Elon Musk did it. Rocket science, he just read all the books. I think he one time went to a place of a rocket scientist guy. He didn't even ask him any questions. He said, "Can I borrow your books?" He read them all. There. Then he left. But after that, right, he started to understand, right? Testing and see what works and what doesn't work. So higher earning and potential. Number 2 is scaling the business. Originally, I invested in a company, to help me edit the videos, right? I only was with that asset. So assets and liabilities. Assets put money in your pocket. Liabilities take money out. For that 1 week, right? I was editing with some of my videos. It edited exactly the same way I was zooming in and out. You know that? But guess what happened with this Brazilian company? They charged me double. Fucking Brazilians. Not to be racist, but fucking Brazilians stabbed me in the back twice. So I threatened them. And they gave me back everything. Nobody fucks with Johnny Elite. I know Brazil is violent, right? But the point is, if the company worked, they become an asset, but they also can help me scale the business. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If they cut everything, right, I can literally be sleeping while the thing's cutting my videos. Make sense? They're the only ones who figure out how to make an AI program that did that. Make sense?
Yeah.
They still have to stab me in the back twice. They overcharged me even less than a week. They could have waited a little bit longer and sneak that charge in there. Fucking idiots. They're so greedy. Make sense? And then afterwards, now I have to edit my own fucking videos and cut all the silences and stuff. So I'm trading a little bit of time for money, unfortunately. But you can see that if that thing was working, right, I could scale the company. Does that make sense? I do have to work, right, get more videos out there. But sometimes scaling could be like having a team in the Philippines. Some people does that. Does it make sense? Assistants and stuff. But my video editor did not actually put out any work. I paid him right away, advance right away. Fucking zombie just kept taking. He didn't do that before. At least he puts out content. But he's fucking slow. But do you see that? So it's like, well, if you don't make any video, but But you have to think about how can you scale in your life. Does that make sense?
Right, and like apply it.
Is there some programs that you can scale things, right? Is there some things that at your particular job that you can get assistance or any people that you can put money into? Because here's what I figure. If it costs $20 to mow your own lawn, right? You might say to yourself, well, if I mow my own lawn, right, I save $20, right? But if you pay somebody else to do it, right? You know how much does my Skype cost an hour? $300. People pay me that still for infield analysis. I'm worth
300 USD per hour.
I'm worth about 300 USD per hour for advice. So that's for Canadians, right? That's quite a bit. So this advice that we're having, that's why I'm recording it. You know, then other people can learn from it on YouTube and also Inner Circle, because a lot of people are struggling with this issue, and I'm not. So, anyways, let's continue. Does that make sense? You gotta find a way to scale. And the last one is that investment bucket. Investment should make you back 10% once you have enough like high income skill, and also enough like enough high income skills first, and then scaling. Then you can invest. But if you try to invest without it, there might be one student, I cannot go into any detail, that focused all investments and did not have any high income skills or scaling, put himself in massive debt. I won't go into any details, all right? That would be private for him. Let's just say 40K debt mistake. Do you see how this triangle, right, tells you exactly what you need to work on? Get your money out of fucking options right now. Make sense? Investments is only when you make enough money, increasing your income.
Yeah.
It's only to hold the money there, so that way it can increase your wealth. Of course, I have a student who's a millionaire who basically can give even better advice than me. Let's not be around the bush here. Give me a few tips here and there. Very helpful. So I would say he's more qualified to talk about this, but I'm not in debt ever. So I'm pretty good at managing it. Despite the bills and everything, I still know how to make money because I self-educate and I invest. So assets put money in your pocket, right? Whether it can scale, whether you're investing in yourself, like books, courses, right? They all give you a wider picture. Everything, like somebody has a knowledge that you're looking for. Does that make sense? Whether it's in a book, whether it's in a course or a mentor. Kind of make sense? Somebody has that information. You pay to access it so you can make money from it. Make sense? Not all books are good. Not all mentors are good. And not all like courses are good. But it is out there. It starts to build like a big brick. Just like the 20 out of 35. It'll give you more awareness. Eventually, it starts to make you more money. So self-education could be the best investment. I'll tell my other student, rather than going to university, he should invest in himself. Grow that way. And then when he makes more money, if he still wants to go to university, then consider that. Of course, it's up to him. So what are the 3 steps for this triangle? Number 1, hello? Any of the 3 steps? Scaling, this, that one.
Scaling, right? So just like find something you're good at, and then you have to see if you can like delegate those tasks to other people.
Yeah, because just like mowing the lawn, right? Minus $20. That's like $20 Canadian minus the $300 an hour for a Skype. Get it? So I may only make 200 and something, but I still save time. Does that make sense? It still builds. Always delegate everything. Can you delegate your cooking? Right? Can you delegate everything? Maybe somebody like comes once a week, makes all the meals, packs it in your fridge for like your freezer, right? So you just reheat it, right? I'm not saying get like a Filipino nurse, but or a person cooking, right? So get some kind of nanny or somebody who can cook, right? Really well. Pay them cheaper than you pay for a meal plan. Does that make sense? These are just new ideas, right? Or you have an assistant online, or you have somebody. Does that kind of make sense? Like delegate everything you can delegate. If you cannot delegate to a person, delegate to a tool, a system out there. You get it? Your entire fucking life is delegated. Like literally the 4-hour work week. You know my millionaire student? If he ever listens to this, right? I literally think in the past he only worked like 4 hours a fucking week. Like Tim Ferriss says, 4-hour work week. He literally only works 4 hours, which is amazing. He delegates everything else. I couldn't believe it. He told me I was working too hard. I was like, what the fuck? I saw everything. I was like, shit. But he still makes like fucking $100,000 fucking month. More than what some of you guys make a year.
Yeah, it is.
Right? That he's like telling me, hey, you can have 35K months, right? It's like expand your awareness. He's talking about USD. Like, what are you doing, John? Like, you get it? That's how they think. They all know how to separate their money, invest, right? Emergency bucket. Sometimes go into good debt, right? You can still make more money later on. But you did not do that with options. What's amazing about him is he's able to trade options and not losing money. But is this starting to make sense now? Stop the bleeding, number 1. Number 2, divide into 5 buckets. Number 3, in this triangle, right? Which one do you need to focus on the most? For you, high income skills, right?
Yeah, so I can
Yeah, learn how to sell something on,
More
on
income.
yeah, learn how to sell something on Craigslist, how to write it properly, right? I can always tell you how to do it because I taught the other students that before, and they were able to sell it crazy. I mean, I can copyright. I can assure you that. How will my business run without copyright? All the words and stuff you see on the site, most people don't know it, but I actually am good at copywriting. I have not updated a sales letter yet. I stopped focusing on that. 'Cause a millionaire student was like, stop focusing on that, right? Focus something else. You saw a blind spot. Like you're optimizing something that does not need to be optimized. But I'm pretty good at it. So it helped. If you can sell by the way you write, does that make sense? I could teach you how to offload that. Then you whatever you can get from a thrift store or whatever fuck, then you can sell it even without actually having the item. Just take a picture of it and post it online and buy it from the store. And you get a difference. Okay?
Right.
That's just
What are
one
you
way.
selling?
Yeah, that's just one way of. There's just many ways to make money. You ask who's got your money. That's a great question to ask, right? Outside of your job, that's a fixed income, right? Who has got your money, right? Have you ever thought of that? Who's got it? Maybe selling stuff for people who are poor, right? Things you don't need.
Yeah.
Maybe you have other skills that can be like useful, right? To make more money.
Got my money.
Who's got my money, man?
I know this. It's always a who.
So who?
I don't think people understand the power of that message.
No.
I was.
You know, they just don't know how to capitalize on it or where the opportunities are.
Yeah, they don't spend time looking at other skills.
Yeah, increase your income potential. Income will fix most of the issues, but make sure that when you divide it by 5 different things, you'll never go broke. Because when people win the lottery ticket, right, they lose all their money. You always see these guys, right? Like, I don't want to say black guys, but whenever they win the lottery, they're like, oh my God, I'm going to buy a mansion. I'm going to buy a new car. I'm going to pay off my mom, retire. Those few millions go nowhere. And guess what? Like, less than 6 months, they're completely broke. Like Mike Tyson. Right? Always happens to the zombies, the RSD zombies. They all are debt creating machines. Massive, massive debt. The more like autistic, the more ADHD, and the more like delusional they are, the more debt they ring up. Zombies. I've taught a lot of students. Some of the people are just living paycheck to paycheck. You know that? Seriously. 76% of, I think, Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Something like that. Don't quote me on that, but isn't that fucking crazy?
Yeah, it's hard to live that way.
It is hard to live that way because next week, right, you can fuck up, you can be homeless, right, or evicted, right? What a fucked up way to live. Why don't everyone just divide their money in 5 pieces? They invest in themselves, right? Increase your income. So let's say you want to pick something, right, to do. Let's say you want to learn how to write some, ads for Craigslist, right? One of my students, he was like 17 years old. He made over I think 11K, 10 point something K in copywriting. Can you believe that? Like less than a few months. Sorry, Tom.
Just selling things on Craigslist?
Yeah,
Selling articles?
he was selling hobby kind of items. I won't say what. But he cleared his inventory in a short time and still made a good profit.
That's good.
It's not just him. I have other zombies that are able to sell stuff too. And sales and stuff. And one guy, I kicked him out. A teachable case. You know who you are, but don't come back to the other guy. But for this guy, on sales, he was making like 6K a month last time I checked. Going from $0, maybe 2K every single 2 months, like 1,000 a month. Literally closing 6K a month USD. Not bad, huh? And it's not the highest, but going from 0 or going to like 20K in debt to that is quite a jump, a quantum leap. He increases high income skills. Just pick one, right? You don't have to master all of them. Just pick one. What do you want? Who's got your money? Yeah, who's got your money? And just pick one that is gonna serve that the most. Which one you're most comfortable with? When you get better, mix the skills, right? Just pick one, any of them.
Oh, right now?
Well, we'll talk about that in the future. But you get the point. And then when you make enough money, let's just say he's bringing 6K a month, right? It's not a lot, but let's just say he's bringing that much, okay? Then he can invest in himself, get it? Get more educated, get mentors, make even more money, get courses, stuff like that. Maybe not all the courses work, some of them did. When he finally gets a mentor, right? Does that make sense? Then he can scale his business. He can even hire other people to build his other stuff that he does. Do it for him. And then whatever money he's making for after all that, he can invest some of it. Does that make sense? A small percentage. 20%. Get it? I'm not saying you should invest in index funds or anything like that. That's probably not good right now with it. Stock market, I believe, is going to crash soon. Right now, it is February. I believe that they'll keep increasing. I believe that the inflation will not go down. Here's my prediction. Even with all the quantitative tightening, I believe it's not going to go down. It's gonna eventually like 6%, whatever it is right now, the US. It's not going to go down. And then they're going to have to do it more. And then it's going to cause even more massive inflation to a recession, maybe. Something like that. Inflation. Zombies. That's what happens when a zombie's a president. The same thinking patterns as all you guys with the delusion stuff. Massive debt creating machine. So this is the advice I want to give to everybody. Number one, just fucking stop whatever bleeding. Get rid of all your Netflix. Get rid of all bullshit that you don't need. All your subscriptions. Number two, split your money in 5 pieces. And over time, learn how to fucking speed read. Stop being lazy, zombie, ADHD cunt. Then buy some cheap courses out there. Whatever, afterwards, when you make money from the books that you read. Make sense? Then pay for some mentors in the future. When you make more. Get it? Step by step.
Yeah.
And then lastly, the triangle, right? Learn how to make more income, who's got your money, what skills you need, scale your business, and then lastly, invest, right? All you zombies have to invest all your money into stocks, 401k, drop shipping. All the Indians are like, I love drop shipping. It's in my blood. It's in their blood. I got to drop ship. All the Indians drop ship.
Yeah, you had a lot of students that did drop shipping.
All the Indian students have done drop shipping at one point or another.
Did they make money off of that, or it was just?
They lost a lot of fucking money. Like they literally have zero profit. All of them. They go into debt. They got drop ship because it's in their blood.